SWE Bob Mulder joined by Kevin Sullivan here, and we had an interesting end to the show last week. They had a pull apart right here on our table.
It was the most intense show I've ever seen, but this is what they call Texas wrestling.
Absolutely, Tim Storm, Charlie Haas. That is our main event tonight. Charlie Haas has a chance at Tim Storm's heavyweight championship. It happens here tonight, and we're going to see in action here in our opening contest tonight. Adam Asher, just a few weeks ago, had a wine bottle smashed in his head by one Niles Planquet. We'll get his thoughts on that here in just a little bit. Right now, it's time to get to the ring for some SWE Fury.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the opponent from Purgatory. He is Adam Asher, the Apocalypse.
Well, Kevin Sullivan, it was just a few weeks ago that Adam Asher confronted Niles Planquet and made a reference to the cheap wine, as he called it, that Niles always brings to the ring, and that was the wrong time to be talking to Planquet like that. Planquet had just lost his television championship to Rodney Mack, and he was having none of it. He threw a wine bottle at the head of Adam Asher after knocking him down on the ground, and he's out here. It took him a few weeks to recover, but Adam Asher is here, and here's what he had to say about that.
My kids watched that, and I had to explain to them why the wine guy, Niles Plug-Ass, smashed a wine bottle over my head for the second time. This isn't over. This has just begun.
Well, they call him the Apocalypse, Adam Asher, and that's his thoughts on Niles Planquet busting a wine bottle on his head. It exploded on his head, I should say.
Bob, wouldn't you be, if you were Adam, be the same way? A guy busts a wine bottle on your head. This guy, Niles, has been like, my father used to say, a fly in a bull's butt. It's
Your
just,
father said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's just irritating. He's an irritating guy.
Yeah, but you know, whoa, good grief. Adam Asher, he can cause some irritation as well. And as you just saw with that huge shoulder tackle there, Xander Gold getting a hearty taste of Adam Asher. Whoa, he tried to go up and over. Asher just stopped and said, here, have a knee. Irish whip now off the ropes, hits the ropes. Big hip toss, no, reverses it, goes for an arm drag, and Asher says no. Wow. How about that underhook suplex there?
You know, Adam may be overlooked at SWE Fury because he's sort of a happy-go-lucky guy, but Niles didn't know what he got into by doing this. We're going to see this guy is a competitor, and he has every trick up his sleeve. He's been on both sides of the fence, and I wouldn't want to get this guy upset at me.
Well, you know, he earned that name Apocalypse because he could cause an apocalypse in the ring and always has been able to. The fact that we've seen a happy-go-lucky version of Adam Asher here lately does not mean that that's always the Adam Asher you will see in the ring. I mean, sometimes you get on this guy's bad side, you hit him with something that causes him to get upset at you, and you end up paying the price. But not right now. Adam Asher reeling from that as Xander Gold from Fayetteville, Arkansas, comes in here. He springs up onto that top rope, goes down, and is met by a little fist to the gut there from Adam Asher. Gold going in, up now. Is he gonna oh, thought maybe powerbomb. He looked, then he tried, looked like for a Hurricane Rana of some sort. Going again, he gets it this time.
He did get him.
Ducking that clothesline, hip toss. Asher's down, 1, 2. You're not getting anybody like that, though. He didn't even have the guy covered.
That's a rookie mistake. Don't you think, Bob, that some of these younger guys think they can go out and almost do anything and the guy's going to give up? These guys,
Asher kicking out there. You know, Adam Asher, Apocalypse, as he's always been called, a staple of Dallas wrestling for the last 20 years or so. and came along at a time when promotions like PCW were in existence. He came up along with Tim Storm, traveled the roads with Tim Storm, wrestled all over Texas and the South, and of course is one of those guys who manages to always come out and entertain the fans with great matches here.
Oh, wow.
Xander Gold now goes for that knee. Oh, good grief. It looked as if he gave a little, almost like a DDT to that knee there.
Apocalypse got to get up and get going, and we've seen him.
Oh, little jawbreaker there. Maybe he'll do it, Kevin Sullivan.
Do you think he has his mind on other things right now? Or payback?
I don't know how he doesn't have a concussion, to tell you the truth, Kevin Sullivan. That was a wine bottle that literally exploded into the head of Adam Asher. And he's here. Maybe not all of it, big lion salt there, and he's not home.
Here's something, Bob. You've followed wrestling since you've been a kid. Don't you think that the younger generation, these high-risk moves are a 50-50 thing? They work 50% of the time?
Well, I can tell you one thing. If he hadn't have done that just then, he might have had a chance to maybe put a little something with a little more impact on Asher. I don't know. I mean, I can't criticize someone who, with the pedigree of Xander Gold, I mean, while nowhere near the experience in the ring as Adam Asher, he's no slouch. I can definitely give you that.
Yes, he's no slouch, but he's up against them.
Whoa, good grief. Taking him off his feet with that clothesline.
And
5 minutes have elapsed in this match.
And the thing is, sometimes power can overcome any kind of movement or any high-flying ability because they grind you down.
Adam Asher is actually one that can grind you down. No question about that. Irish whip now into the corner. He stops, goes back, and nobody's there either. Asher was waiting for him, knew something was coming. Apocalypse now! Apocalypse now! And it's 3 in Adam Asher.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner by pinfall, Adam Asher, the Apocalypse.
A real good win for Adam Asher. A real good win.
It comes out of nowhere. Apocalypse now. And Adam Asher, Apocalypse, APOC, comes out victorious here in our opening contest on SWE Fury. We'll be back right after this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we went off the air last week with a confrontation that happened at the announce table where Kevin Sullivan and I sat talking to Tim Storm. Let's show you a little bit of that footage right now.
Hey, the referee and wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, good Lord, not here on the table. Charlie Haas and Tim Storm here. I'm going to try to stay with you the best I can. They're coming over the table. They're coming over the table. Haas is here on our table, and Tim Storm now has him. And now we have all the bats spilling out here on us. I'm going to try to stay here with you and keep you.
And here in just a little bit, we're going to get back to the... There's Tim Storm who was there.
No. I am done. I am done. All I've done is try to do the right thing. All I've done is follow the rules. I've been the team player. And Charlie Haas is going to come in the middle of an interview after trying... No. Everybody's got two sides. You want to see the other side of Tim Storm? You want to see the other face of Tim Storm? Because I've got both. How I react is based on how you treat me. Okay. Okay. All right, fine. That's what you want. That's fine.
Wow, definitely a side of Tim Storm we haven't seen before here on SWE Fury. We'll be right back after this. We're back here on SWE Fury. Bob Malden, Kevin Sullivan, and Nigel Rabbit here. What do you have to say for Charlie Haas down here coming and attacking one of my guests last week?
Charlie Haas is going to be champion. That's what I have to say.
Well, that
in with the old. Oh no, out with the old, in with the new. I mean, come on. I'm not going to take anything away from Tim Storm, but he's been babied and protected by the regime of James Beard. You know it, I know it. No fists took away one man's arsenal, and now Charlie doesn't need fists to dismantle a human being. He is death incarnate.
Haas has definitely been dismantling the entire SWE roster, and tonight he has his chance to dismantle our SWE heavyweight champion Tim Storm. That's our main event tonight as Fly Death makes their way to the ring.
The team of Maxilla and Warren J. Fly Death.
Fly Death making their way to the ring to face off against the team of Bam Bam Malone and the heartthrob Jaden, son-in-law of the late great Road Warrior Animal. Tell me you're not out here scouting one of these guys.
I am scouting all talent. It doesn't matter. The Rabid Empire is ever expanding. And tonight we're going to add the SWE Fury World Heavyweight Championship to that crown jewels.
Nigel, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
As an astute manager that you are, what do you look at first? Do you look at speed? Do you look at strength? Do you look at intestinal fortitude? What is your first goal in a wrestler?
In just a singles wrestler, you're talking tag team?
A single wrestler.
In a single wrestler, one of the most important things is heart and a willingness to do anything to survive and to win. Because those are the people who are going to claw, scrape, tear, rend until they walk out victorious. And that's what I look for. Power's all well and good. Technical skill is very impressive. But if you don't have the heart, you don't have the passion, if you don't have the drive to do everything you can, well, you're not going to make it very far.
I thought you made an interesting point. You said there was a distinction between tag teams. So what do you look at as a tag team? How they work together, or can you...
Well, I would like to point out, Kevin Sullivan, did you see what these guys just did? They shook hands. They have respect for each other. They're in here to wrestle each other, to win. I haven't seen a lot of respect from some of the guys that Nigel Rabid manages, just saying.
I mean, I don't know what that means with any... I mean, so, okay, respect. Yes, you shook hands, you were friendly.
Sportsmanship.
That doesn't matter. Victories matter. At the end of the day, the reason why Charlie Haas is squaring off against Tim Storm tonight for the SWE World Heavyweight Championship is because he's a winner. He wins his matches. He competes at a accelerated level from the rest of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look at this. The athleticism right now by Fly Death. Warren J. doing an amazing job. But
and we're seeing obviously some experience in the amateurs. Went behind him, spun, and he had him in control the whole time. I think that's one of the things that maybe gives Charlie an edge on a lot of wrestlers, Bob. Don't you think it? The history of his amateur background?
Well, absolutely, and I know Nigel would agree on that, but if you look over here right now, you see in the corner of Jaden, the guy that Charlie defeated last week in that match, Bam Bam Malone, who was very close himself to being the contender in the match tonight against Tim Storm.
I mean, if miles away is close in your book, certainly.
I want to bring something up. I don't mean to interrupt, but Bob, didn't you and I both in Tim Storm think Bam Bam won that match, that the referee was slow in that count? I mean, we would have had a completely different match than it.
Well,
I'm not blaming the referee. We all make mistakes.
I can't take anything away from the referee. I wasn't the guy in there having to keep up with everything that was going on and also having to watch his back with Nigel Rabid outside the ring. Sorry, Nigel.
I didn't touch anyone at all. Well, I don't know what you're complaining about.
And, whenever it's Charlie Haas in the ring, we've noticed you don't have to do anything, and Charlie Haas definitely handles business when he's in there. and pretty much all over the arena as well, as that ended up on our table last week over here, where he came and
that was Mr. Storm's fault. If he hadn't pulled Charlie across the table, all Charlie was trying to do was to move the headset so that Mr. Storm could hear him. He's really very disrespectful of Mr. Storm in the way he behaved. But I mean, back to Mr. Sullivan's question. When it comes to a tag team, the first thing that I look for is coordination and cooperation. If you don't know how to work well together, then you're not going to do much of anything. I'd say I'm very impressed right now. Look at that slam from Bam Bam Malone. He and Jaden are working very well together with, to my knowledge, never having tags before.
Yes, first time that we've seen them do so, especially here in SWE Fury, Bam Bam Malone and Jaden. Jaden really only the second time we've had a chance to see him in the ring here in SWE Fury here in recent weeks against Fly Def now. Of course, these guys trained in the Houston area by one Booker T. Great tag team.
Very decorated. Very decorated.
Out of the way there. Nobody home, alone.
And that's what I'm talking about. That kind of working together. Did you see the referee didn't even bother to admonish them?
Well, it happened so quickly.
I mean, you wouldn't say that if it was my lads out there. You go, oh, Nigel's a terrible person. Oh, I hate English people.
Never have said that I hate English people.
Look at this.
Wow.
Beautiful coordination and teamwork. And
what is this?
This doesn't look pleasant.
No! 1, 2, and no. Bam Bam still in it. I don't know how after that.
Bob, this goes back where we talked about the younger guys being much more athletic. You didn't see that 10, 15 years ago, that kind of move. The guys have reinvented moves built on what was in the past, and this tag team match could headline any Madison Square Garden to the Omni in Atlanta.
Well, for tonight, we've got it at Southern Junction in Irving, Texas. It's a count of only 2 there. Fly Def working well together to neutralize Bam Bam Malone back into that corner now. Head into the turnbuckle cover, and the tag is made.
And Bob, the number of times that you and I have been doing broadcasting like this, you know I am exceptionally fond of tag team work. I really enjoy that cooperation. 1, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes have gone by in this match. 25 minutes remaining.
Big drop kick there. Yes, Nigel Rabbit, I am definitely aware of your, you definitely see that you follow tag team wrestling and appreciate it for what it is. No, wait a minute, he hits from behind, and that causes Fly Def to crack heads there.
And that's the fault of Fly Def. Warren J, I understand concern for Zach Zilla, but you're in the middle of a match. If you're standing in the ring in the middle of the match, this is liable to happen.
Kicking out right at the last moment. Is Zach okay down there?
Zach up and
he seems
hobbling.
He's hobbling pretty good. You know, when something like that happens, a mistake like that, that's when injuries occur. If you're not prepared for getting whacked from behind.
Elbow dropping the pin attempt there from Jaden. Kick out.
I'm going to have to say, Bob, earlier we saw some very solid tag team tactics that it looks like Jaden and Bam Bam are recreating. And what they're doing is they're cutting the ring in half.
Right.
Keeping Warren J pinned in. Just as Warren J and Zach Zilla were doing the same pinfall. Only two.
I am impressed with your knowledge, Nigel. I got to give you that credit.
Thank you.
I mean, cutting the ring off is a major thing. I have been, world tag team champion on numerous occasions with different partners, and the greatest partner I had was Mark Lewin, and he was the one that taught me. You cut the ring off, and you keep him on your side, which makes the guy, first of all, fatigued, and you can control it better. And to me, now that we've been talking a little, your knowledge has impressed me.
Thank you.
Do you think you picked that up in Europe somewhat? Because I'm a big fan of the European wrestling.
Unfortunately, I haven't even dipped my toe in European wrestling. I actually picked that up years and years of watching professional wrestling and studying with greats, much like Charlie Haas, a very accomplished tag team wrestler who...
Knee.
Oh, Jaden almost making that fatal mistake.
He almost let him get that tag.
You see how quickly he realized his mistake and was right on top of Warren J. You know, there's as they say, scuttlebutt in the locker room about this tag team tournament that's coming. We see posts.
Yep.
We might see this Bam Bam Malone and Jaden tandem expand out.
Yes, absolutely, and that is a very real possibility. And wouldn't it be interesting, since Jaden's father-in-law was a part of one of the biggest tag teams in wrestling history?
Quite literally, my number one favorite tag team in history was the Road Warriors. If there's any tag team that I ever wanted to mold anyone after, not necessarily in terms of aesthetics, but I love the aesthetics, but in how they handled themselves, how they processed the business. Very, very intelligent way of working. They had people terrified just by walking into the arena.
They certainly did. When Iron Man played, if you were in the ring waiting for them, it sent chills up your spine. They were they were probably, to me, the greatest tag team of all time.
Well, absolutely.
There's a tag here. Coming in, Haas. Clothesline after clothesline. Irish whip off the ropes. Reverse now. Ducks it. Oh, and a clothesline.
Do we have an injury here that he can't compete at 100%, Bob? What would you think?
Absolutely can. Clothesline over the top there.
He needs to make a tag, I believe. He needs to get out of there. He's doing this on guts, and sometimes that's not.
Oh no! Wait a minute! Over the top! Like a missile.
I mean, it's more like, with the size of his axle, it's more like a battleship that's been dropped from on high. He's not a small fellow.
It's like that scene in the movie where the whale is falling and turns into a flower pot. What is that movie?
No. It was missiles that turned into a whale and a flower pot.
Ah, yes, that's what it was.
Hitchhiker's Guide. It was a book first, but you're an American. What do I expect?
Yeah. But I did see the movie, and I do love the movie. Wait a minute. Nobody home there. Big boot.
Look at that. Warren dazed.
They're working together.
This could be an upset.
2, 3.
Wow. Look at that.
It is an upset.
That's impressive.
The team of Bam Bam Malone and Jaden.
Bam Bam and Jaden working together. What a great tag team.
That's what we were just talking about, was it not, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, and here's something. I'm shocked that they work so well together the first time that we've seen them, right? They must have been in the gym practicing and getting this right, because their timing together was impeccable, I thought.
Great tag team of Jaden, the heartthrob, and Bam Bam Malone. Good to see these two working together so well, and great to get your comments on all this, Nigel Webber, because after all, regardless of whether or not we see eye to eye on other things, you are a great manager, and you do a great job here in SWE Fury, and you do bring in some of the top talent, and I think you deserve credit and respect for that.
Wait a minute. Why don't you see eye to eye with me? I'm a genius. If it wasn't for Mr. Sullivan, I'd say I'm the very best. I don't have to sit here and listen to the kind of abuse that I'm getting from a small-minded country bumpkin. I'm leaving.
It was a
Mr.
compliment.
Sullivan, it's been an honor.
It's a pleasure.
And don't you talk, Bob.
It was Kevin, I paid him a compliment.
I know.
And he's
I
gone
agree
now.
with you.
We'll be right back here on SWE Fury. Teddy Long coming to the ring. We're back here on SWE Fury. Teddy Long coming to the ring. He's being followed by a group of security who, if our main camera can catch it, is assembled at the ring. What are they doing over there? They're like standing guard. Let's get Matt to come down and get a shot of these guys who are standing at ringside.
We're getting ready to have a match here between Moonshine Mantell and Max Castellano. If you've been following us on your TV channel, you can understand that these two men have had matches that have just been out of control. And I'm going to make a last man standing match.
Oh no. Is this a good idea to have both these guys out here at the same time?
Thank you. So let me get them out here and get them to sign this contract.
Oh boy. Kevin Sullivan, the fact that Max Castellano is here, he is going to be joining in the ring Moonshine Ryan Mantell. I do not like this. I don't like it one bit. Every single time those guys have gotten within 5 feet of each other, it's been chaos. It's been a battle. Things have been torn up. Bodies have been broken. And buildings have been broken by these guys. I don't like this at all.
Well, I have to agree with you, Bob. The problems we've had with these two guys is they're two competitors, but they're opposite ends. It's like looking in a mirror.
Well, here he is, Ryan Mantell. The man formerly known as Moonshine Mantell. And, that was a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, Moonshine Mantell. This right here, this is Ryan Mantell. This is Ryan Mantell, the man. This is Ryan Mantell, the competitor. This is Ryan Mantell, the warrior, who is here because he wants a last man standing match with this guy, Max Castellanos.
Come on, just stay back, man.
I don't like this at all.
I got this security. You just made it in a ring. Stop.
Oh, I don't like this.
Well, we do have security, Bob.
Get that security in there.
And James Spears coming over.
Now what we're going to do, we're not going to waste our night out here. We're going to get this contract signed. And what this contract means, this is going to be a last man standing match where we're going to have 2 referees for the first time ever.
2 referees.
One will be on the floor and one will be in the ring to appreciate, to try to keep you two in line, but I know that's going to be hard to beat.
Hey, papá, dale, fírmale. ¿Te quieres firmar? Fírmale, cabrón.
What did he say? Did he sign?
No firmar. Pero le llamas a tu mamá porque cuando te parta tu madre.
There he goes with that Greek again.
Ok, ¿me entiendes? ¿Me entiendes? Mira, aquí mero.
All right, he signed. He signed. Wait a minute, the table's turned over now, and Castellanos is out, and he's gone. Castellanos now. Oh, wait a minute. Security detail has been. Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Castellanos, he made his escape. He watches from up the aisle there. Castellanos. Women's action gets underway here on SWE Fury. Follow all the action on the SWE Ringside app. Great bonus content. And I believe you participated in a roundtable discussion that is going to be on SWE Fury Ringside app, and talking with the likes of James Beard and Mark Henry, Teddy Long.
It was very instrumental to me to learn from Mark Henry because we had the same teachers, even though we're from different generations. He learned from the great Ernie Ladd, and I did too.
You guys had a lot to talk about the state of professional wrestling these days and where SWE Fury fits in that equation.
Well, I think SWE Fury is a revolutionary company. It reminds me almost like a company I worked for over 20 years ago, ECW.
Aha, yes.
They're giving the people what they want here. They give them a little bit of something, and what they're giving them right now is we're seeing the best girls in the world. And that's no disrespect to any of the women wrestling. Women wrestling has come a long way in 30 years.
The athletes involved in women's wrestling now, it's just a world apart from what was looked upon as women's wrestling decades ago. But I tell you what, it's been a long time coming, and like I said, I would put SWE Fury's women division above any other because it just the competitors are that strong. These ladies come out here to fight. They're not here to look pretty. They're not here to make friends. They're here to fight, and they have their eyes on a prize that I believe, is one of the top prizes in professional wrestling, and that is that women's championship.
And I went on record last week, and I said that I think the SWE Fury Championship is a claimant to the world title. I say the same things for the girls.
Absolutely.
This is the best, like you said. I don't want to keep on repeating what you said, Bob, but I'm repeating a smart guy, so I don't feel so bad. That this is the hotbed of women wrestling. Malaya Osaka has had championships, like I said before, all over the world.
Osaka back in the ring, meets up with a forearm there, and rakes the eyes. What was she trying to tell the referee she was doing there?
I'm not so sure, but Malaya is methodical. She doesn't waste the movement, and this is a compliment.
Yeah.
She works like a heavyweight man wrestler. No wasted motions, and look at the two thrusts, the double thrust. You don't see that in mini girl wrestling. Watch what she's going to do now.
What is she going to do? She's now on the top rope. She has the head under that knee. Wait a minute. Oh no! Draping the back of the neck over that rope.
A la Tokyo Monster.
Oh my goodness. That'll do some damage right there. If she gets up after that, I would be very surprised. Alejandra, the Lion, the first time we've seen her here in SWE Fury.
You know the story about Daniel and the Lion's Den, right? I think maybe the lion got thrown into the den and she didn't realize.
Malaya mocking, and that doesn't go over too well with the Lion as she fires up again. Here we go. Snapmare takeover, goes in and locks in that chin lock there. Malaya Osaka, and no giving up from the Lion.
Bob, I want to ask you a question. When a guy grabs a woman's hair, when a guy grabs a man's hair, the referee seems to get on him a little more than he does with a woman. Is that because of the more hair, you think?
I'm not sure, and I guess I'm going to start paying a little more attention to that because I haven't noticed that particular dynamic playing out in the ring, but I will keep an eye on that, Kevin, because it almost seems like, and pretty much through the entire history of women's wrestling, that the hair was almost like a tool. It was almost something to grab a hold of, like an arm or a leg or a foot, and the ladies do tend to use it a little bit more.
So there you are, fans. Heard from the voice. He just told you why. Thank you.
Well, totally guessing there, Kevin Sullivan. I'm doing my best to venture a guess.
Your guess, I can take it to the bag, Bob.
Oh, boy. I guess.
15 minutes remaining.
Now we have Malaya Osaka definitely in charge. Irish whip out of the corner. Reverse now. Malaya taking the trip to the corner. Comes back. Spinning heel kick, and down goes the Lion. I'd like to point out the fact that the lineage of that SWE Women's Championship, the first women's champion here in SWE Fury, Jazz.
And the greatest.
Yes.
of all time.
Over a year, one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. No, not one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time.
And I was going to comment on this, not just the greatest woman wrestler, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Well, there you go. The man himself said it, Kevin Sullivan. And, now she is helping out in the back, helping to put together matches for this women's division, to match up these talented wrestlers that come in here and give them opportunities to advance and learn and grow and compete.
And if they don't live up to her standards, I've seen her in the back.
I guess she has some things to say about that when they don't, huh?
Yeah. She's a true champion.
Wait a minute, we have a pin now with the ropes in use, and the bell rings. I don't think the referee saw it then. Pay attention.
Here is your winner, Malia Osaka.
Every bit of that leverage was because of that bottom rope.
And I don't want to get on the referees, but this almost has been two misses lately that have cost people problems. The first one, when Charlie got beat and the referee was slowing the count, and then today. But hey, the referee has the hardest job in the wrestling business.
It is a lot of work what they do in there, but there you go, the debut of Alejandro the Lion. We're back here on SWE Fury with great singles action, and in the ring right now, they call him the Reinforcer from New York City, Andrew Anderson, and he's up here tonight to face off against the young and talented Christian Mox. Andrew Anderson, we saw just a few weeks ago, putting Action Jackson out of work for a while. Action Jackson with that injury to his arm. Christian Mox is no preliminary talent. He's in the ring right now to prove himself with one Andrew Anderson.
Yes, he is. You know, Andrew's background powerlifter, broke a record, and the great Lawrence Taylor spotted him 57 reps with 2 1/4 in the Meadowlands. Andrew is from the famous Anderson family. I mean, he is a solid competitor, and I'm looking for a good match right here with these guys.
Working on that shoulder of Christian Mox is Andrew Anderson. And if you're a new fan of professional wrestling, you've probably seen some of Anderson's acting work. Andrew Anderson. Several parts in Hollywood and TV commercials. So if that face looks familiar, it's no coincidence. But as wrestling fans know, wrestling is his first love. And here he is facing off tonight against the young and eager Christian Mox, who may not be so eager once he starts getting the pounding that I know Andrew Anderson is going to bring here tonight. You know a lot about this Andrew Anderson, Kevin Sullivan.
Yes, I've been all around the world with Andrew. I went on a tour to Africa with him. I went on a tour to England with him. He's as solid as you can be. He's a grinder. He's unusually strong. And just that tackle, this kid has just made the gridiron transformation, and getting that pounding that Andrew does, those short, lethal punches, reminds me somewhat of the great Greg the Hammer Valentine and Johnny Valentine, his dad.
Well, and he drops those tree trunks, across his chest. That can't be good for the sternum, can't be good for the ribs. Christian Mox on the receiving end of several clubbing blows now from Andrew Anderson, a guy who we saw just not too long ago put the Texas legend Action Jackson out of commission for a while, and it was a sad thing. There were fans looking on in shock because no one's ever seen Action Jackson that way before. Action Jackson, a big man, a legend in Texas, great competitor. And Andrew Anderson dismantling him, and that rivalry continues now to this day. Action Jackson, of course, can't be here, can't be cleared by the doctor because of his injury, but I've seen social media posts, I've heard rumors in the back that Action Jackson is trying to heal up fast and get ready to make a comeback at some point. We do wish him a speedy recovery. Double underhook suplex there. Anderson.
Andrew showed his wrestling ability. Besides being a clubber, he does have wrestling ability. And he was a former pro boxer, so his punches hurt more than most guys.
Is there anything Andrew Anderson hasn't done?
Probably not. Like
Maybe,
you said, movies, TV, the Vikings, Gotham.
Yeah, he's an exterminator, a lawn man. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what else he does, but the guy has done a little bit of everything. And if it involves inflicting punishment like he just did to Christian Montz, then he's probably done a fair share of it. Oh, he threatened that punch. Thought better of it there, didn't he? Going for a suplex. Mox blocking it just a little bit there. Trying to get come back with those shoulders there. And that's saying something. And there you go. Alex Morazes, senior official here for SWE Fury, checking on both competitors. 10, 1, 2, and no, that could have been 3.
Come on, Andrew, that was bull.
Could have been 3.
The kid was down, pit him.
Could have been done with it.
Bob, I don't like to see the guys inflict more punishments on other. He's going for the arm, Bob. He's going for the arm.
Oh, wow. Andrew Anderson. Christian Mox, though, showing heart as he hits him with those forearms there.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes have elapsed from this match. 15 minutes remaining.
All right, we're seeing something here from Christian Mox that I told you about a little bit earlier. The heart of this young man. He's now gone up to that second rope after a flurry of forearms and a clothesline, and here he comes off the top rope. Anderson off his feet. 1, 2, and no, that just barely short of 3.
The kid could have grabbed both legs. A rookie mistake.
Leading into this segment, we saw some of that footage of the Blood Hunter, and just incredible out here last week. That was some insanity right there, Kevin Sullivan. Mox off the top rope, though, and that, again, rookie mistake, as you say, jumped right into the waiting blow of Andrew Anderson. Andrew Anderson taking him up top, falling back with him now. That fall-away slam, 1, 2, and 3. Andrew Anderson getting the win.
Here is your winner, the reinforcer, Andrew Anderson.
Andrew Anderson with the win here against the hard-fighting Christian Montz, and the style of Andrew Anderson to systematically dismantle his opponent. It doesn't take a bunch of bouncing around the ring and high flying for Andrew Anderson. He just now, wait a minute, he's locked in that hold.
That's
and
unnecessary.
Look at the bone of Christian Montz. He's got that hold locked in. The same thing that put Action Jackson on the injured list.
Here comes the big man.
Wait a minute. Here comes Action Jackson to the ring. Action Jackson, what is he doing here? He can't be here. He's not cleared by the doctor. Action Jackson here, his arm's still wrapped. What is he doing here? Andrew Anderson had that arm. Wait a minute. Teddy Long is coming. Teddy Long running out of the back. He's coming to the side here. What is Teddy doing here? He's trying to get.
Action.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
Let's listen.
You can get down, player. Now you've been injured.
Come on, Action!
Hey.
I'll break your other arm!
Action. The reason I'm not letting him in is because he's a liability to SWE, and I need a letter from his doctor saying that he's been released. Why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
That's right.
I know how bad you want it. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to let you go in there. These people want me to see me kick his ass.
I believe these people do.
I don't care about my
I agree with you 100%.
Let me do this on my own, brother. Let me go in there and whoop his tail right now. Action, you may not care about your liability, but I care about the liability of SWE. Now, the thing I can do for you, you go to your doctor, you bring a letter back, let me know you're clear, and you can get in there and kick his ass anytime you get ready. That's all I can tell you, Brad.
What are you gonna do about it? You don't listen to him? Or you gonna come after me?
Don't listen to him, because see what he's doing, he's trying to play psychology on you, man. He's trying to get you to jump in the ring knowing that you're not clear, and if you do that, I'm gonna suspend you.
Oh, wow. Teddy Long threatening suspension.
And that must mean that Teddy knows something that we don't. Teddy just doesn't throw suspensions around like that or a threat. There's something going on, and he's hurt worse than we realize he is. But
I don't know.
Do you think? What do you think, Bob?
You know, Teddy Long threatening him if he gets in there, he faces suspension, and Andrew Anderson up there continuing to egg him on. Possibly it would be a relief. We finish each one of these nights tired from trying to call all the crazy action. And I have a feeling that after our main event tonight, you and I are going to need a beer, Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, I think we're going to need more than one, Bob.
Charlie Haas is going to be in action coming up next. He faces Tim Storm. The heavyweight championship is on the line, our main event.
Isn't this what it's all about, Bob?
That's what it's all about, main event gold. It's on the line. SWE Fury, heavyweight champion Tim Storm defends his title against Charlie Haas. It's coming up next. We are back here on SWE Fury, our main event about to get underway here. Charlie Haas coming out here now. He is after that championship gold to Tim Storm. It didn't take him any time to work his way up the ranks here in SWE Fury. That's partially because he dismembered and destroyed the ranks all the way up and demanded his match with Tim Storm. He has that here tonight. He's accompanied to the ring by the dastardly Nigel Rabbit. What is going on in ringside? Wait a minute, Tim Storm's coming to the ring. Tim Storm running down the aisle here, look out. Tim Storm is here and he takes off now. He's here, Tim Storm is here, this match is underway. Kevin Sullivan, this match has started. Ring the bell, somebody, let's get this thing going. Get it in the ring, and Tim Storm, he means business. Charlie Haas, he better bring every single ounce of bitterness, enthusiasm, and guts that he has. He's up against an angry world heavyweight champion here who will do anything to keep that title.
And like we talked about strategy, I think that's out the window.
Strategy is out the window.
This is a pair six brawl. And Charlie's on the receiving end, which he's normally not used to.
Whoa!
Hello, Mr. Ring Post.
That ring post there moved. And normally, it takes a lot to move them even when you're in the ring, but when you're outside the ring, to see the ring move from somebody being slammed into it, very uncommon thing. Oh, Haas, his lower back rammed into that ring apron there. Very solid, won't move. And wait a minute, now we're going into the crowd, into the fans. A dangerous, dangerous situation. When you say in-your-face Texas wrestling, Kevin Sullivan,
this is it.
You come to a show, you will be a part of the action regardless. Well, it looks like we might be going into the ring now.
I think Tim needs to figure out a way to finish him off quickly.
I hope that Tim Storm paces himself a little bit. Good grief. Big boot right to the head of Charlie Haas. I've never seen somebody take it to Charlie Haas like this.
I haven't either. And Tim is the guy to end this undefeated streak for sure. Look at him. Well, I think the fans are saying it all.
I don't think I've seen this kind of intensity from Tim Storm at all. I think it's a culmination of all of the insult to injury that's been added by Charlie Haas as he's mowed through the ranks here in SWE Fury and caused havoc and injuries and, people to be in danger. I mean, literally in danger, our fans even.
All I can compare this to is the Tyson-Buster Douglas fight. When Tyson was rolling over everybody, he didn't think that Buster Douglas was going to stand up to him. He intimidated Buster. Buster didn't back down. I think we're seeing that tonight.
I have to say, Charlie Haas has come after the wrong man here. Tim Storm is not letting up. Tim Storm is giving Charlie Haas a taste of his own medicine here tonight as he rips him off the corner, slams him hard into those corner posts.
Bob, I think Charlie is out on his feet, if not out on the mat. I don't think he isn't going to take this onslaught much more. If Tim was smart, and I'm not going to question how smart Tim was, but he should be going for a pin now. Now that he's totally dominated him, I'd like to see Tim go for a pin, whether it be a pin or a tap out. He's got Charlie where he wants him. Don't let this go any longer, Timmy.
I have to think that there might be a little bit of joy that Tim Storm is taking in the fact that he's able to do this to Charlie Haas. Charlie's caused so much destruction here in SWE, a company that Tim Storm truly loves, a company that Tim Storm has represented as our champion for so long, and will continue to do so if this match continues this way.
Absolutely. Tim, don't pay attention to Nigel. Do not get off of Charlie. Do not get off of Charlie.
Nigel Rabbit, manager for...
Timmy, get on top of Charlie.
What is he doing here? He's taking off nobody home, and the corner post there, that ring post and the shoulder of Tim Storm. Waited a little too long, gave Charlie the chance to regain his sense of location in the ring.
And Bob, I think you and I both try to be unbiased, but we're hoping Timmy wins this. But Tim, as a champion, you can make a few mistakes, but not too many, especially with a guy like Charlie.
Well, when you're talking about a champion like Tim Storm, you're talking about somebody who can truly be a face of your company. You're talking about somebody who represents the championship well, with personal appearances and talking to students about, bullying and things like that. I mean, the guy is an exemplary role model for good grief, and for a representative of SWE Fury. And
he's in the Charlie's backyard now on the floor. This is not a place for Tim to be.
And there we go, Tim Storm and his own little introduction to the corner post there. That ring post in the head of Tim Storm. Oh, and now the arm.
Bob, you've seen Tim on many occasions. As great as he is, he's in the wrong place, I think, right now. This is Charlie's domain, on the floor. He gets to stretch the count. He's a perfect example of how to manipulate a referee. On the count, he's on top of Tim. Tim, you need to suck it up, brother. You're the champion.
There comes a chair into the ring now, almost taking out referee Carl Knight. And here comes Charlie Haas. He's going for that chair. That can't end well.
No.
Uh-oh, Carl trying to take the chair away from him now. And he does. Haas is fine. He goes over there and lays in a kick on
good move by
Tim
the ref.
Storm.
Good move by the ref. Showing control.
Charlie Haas.
5 minutes have elapsed in this match. 5 minutes have elapsed in this match.
1, 2, and no. Count of only 2 there.
I don't think you're going to beat Tim Storm on a weak pin like that.
Nigel Rabbit looking on.
Timmy, get up, go to your belly.
You know, I like to think of Nigel, and I've even complimented him in the past, as, you know, he has an ability to find and nurture talent in the Rabbit Empire. But it's another pin, count of only 2 there, as Nigel Rabbit looks on.
And you expend more on defense, your energy, than you do offense. And Timmy, you need to get moving, man. He's withheld this title for the company for a long time and done it with class. I would hate to think that Charlie Haas' role as a champion would be as exemplary as Tim Storm. There it is.
Wait a minute, the crowd chanting, getting in the head of Charlie Haas. Oh wow, there we go. Eye of the Storm. Tim Storm gets him down. 1, 2, and we have it.
Close.
I thought we had a winner there in Tim Storm. I thought he had that championship. Eye of the Storm. 1, 2, no, Charlie Haas out again. How many men have you seen kick out of that? Wait a minute, Haas gets him, throws him up. Wait a minute. That was a count of 3.
No.
Haas. Haas.
No. Was his foot in the ropes? Was his foot out of the ropes?
From our vantage point, I couldn't see. It looked as though it was. We'll have to review other camera angles and see, but it looked as if the foot was in the ropes. But Charlie Haas is the one that's climbing up and hoisting that belt high above his head, and is our new SWE Fury Heavyweight Champion. I can't believe it, Kevin Sullivan.
Sad night. I hate to be biased, but I was pulling for Tim the whole way, and I think you were deep down inside if I asked you.
The man has spent more than a year representing our company. He spent more than a year as our SWE Fury Heavyweight Champion. Please get a shot of Tim Storm here as he leaves now without that championship gold around his belt.
And please, let's send a paramedic in the back to take a look at Tim. Make sure he's okay. I know he's not going to be okay psychologically, but look at Tim now.
The now former champion slowly walks away.
And you know, Bob, there's nothing more X than an X.
And Charlie Haas is our new SWE Fury Heavyweight Champion. Nigel Rabbit loading as he's built his Rabbit Empire to now include the Heavyweight Champion.
All right, let me straighten everything out, trying to let you know what's going on. Charlie, first thing I want to say, congratulations. The next thing,
Congratulations, why? Congratulations on what?
you're the SWE World Heavyweight Champion. You're the SWE World Heavyweight Champion. But Charlie, I got a little bit of news for you. You remember the match you had earlier where you slammed that poor innocent referee, a guy that would... You slammed him, and we've got word from the hospital that he wants to press charges. So Charlie, you are under arrest.
This is unprecedented. A referee slammed earlier, pressing charges, and now Charlie Haas under arrest. Arrest.
You want to give me this, or you can't take this to jail? Okay, let me have it. Let me have this. Here we go, right here.
Would the world title be
You can take him out of
considered
here.
contraband?
I think we got a song that we can sing for Charlie.
Oh no! Are they gonna?
Let's sing that song for Charlie right now.
Are they
Let's
gonna sing?
it. Na, 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 na.
Oh no!
Come on. deal.